Good morning and greetings on another lovely Northumbrian morning. It's the 20th of July. The month is rushing away and time passes quickly. But yesterday was a momentous day. At least it felt a momentous day for me. For the first time since the 15th of March, April, May, June, July, 4 months, I was able to celebrate the Eucharist with one of my congregations. In the churchyard in the little village of Ellingham, which lies between the A1 and the sea, in a place where there's been a church for over 1,000 years, we met, 13 of us, in the churchyard to celebrate the Eucharist. Ellingham's a tiny little village, probably no more than 100 people living in it, maybe a little few more because they built a few houses this last year. But these people are part at the heart of the Christian church in Ellingham, and indeed there were only one or two who would normally be regular unable to come because of the situation. So it was a lovely feeling to gather in a socially spaced circle, which of course we did, and to celebrate the Eucharist with one or two things. I had to put on a mask and we distributed communion, the bread only, to the people without the words because the mask was already on. But on the whole it was a very simple, straightforward Eucharist. But it felt to me like a tremendous step forward. And I look forward to repeating those steps over the next weeks in my other churches here at Northumberland and also in Beadnell, because it is a move to gather again together as a Christian community. There's been a lot of cattiness really in social media. Christian social media is an exercise in not having charity very often. There's been a lot of disputes about has the life of the church continued properly during lockdown, or have we been very damaged by not meeting in churches? And I don't really want to get into that debate, but I do want to say this. It is the essence of a Christian community that we are able to gather, and even those people who live as hermits do so in relation to a Christian community. That's very important. It isn't so much that the building is important, but the building as a representative of the gathering of a Christian community, and as often the site where a Christian community has gathered for hundreds or thousands of years, has a special significance. Think of the Last Supper. They were gathered in the upper room to share the life of Jesus. That's what it felt like for me yesterday morning in Ellingham Churchyard. Think of the resurrection. They were gathered in the upper room when Jesus came to them. And Thomas missed out. And it took time for him to come to faith in the resurrection. Think of the day of Pentecost. They were gathered and the Holy Spirit came to them. This doesn't mean that God cannot come to us in other places, and I'm sure that many of us have been blessed in a new pattern of private prayer and in sharing prayer with others through the media of the internet. But we are a community that believes in gathering. We believe that as we gather, there is a relationship with God, a relationship with the angels, a relationship with the saints who have gone before us, as we celebrate Margaret of Antioch today, who in the 3rd century, in the 4th century, gave her life for her faith, and a fellowship with those who are with us. And it was lovely to see little 1s and 2s and 3s of people gathered in a safe way yesterday, talking to each other and catching up on their news. It was a moment of encounter with God, encounter with the church triumphant, the angels and saints, and an encounter with the church, as we call it, militant, the church on earth. To be able to gather again was a privilege and is at the essence of what being a Christian is. That doesn't mean that those people who cannot gather and are not prepared to gather at the moment are not important. And I am committed to continuing a ministry through the medium of YouTube and the internet to try and reach some of those people. It won't stop as we gather. And I'm going to, and you'll realise the efforts are not perfect, try and film these gatherings that we have into the foreseeable future. But we have to remember that at the essence of our Christian life is this notion of community. And it was such a privilege to gather again. May God bless us as we take steps to gather as a community, to be part of a community, and to share the life of that community with those who cannot gather with us.